it's a great Friday because tomorrow's game day. We don't have to wait.
That's true.
48 hours to get to it.
We'll have the post game starting at the 2-minute warning tomorrow.
Right. You back again?
I'm back.
Back in the saddle.
Somebody said that the Bengals ain't playing this week, so he pulled back on the post game.
We understand.
Yeah.
We understand. Hey,
we know how it goes.
a chair is empty. 2 chairs are empty, actually. Brad had some mayoral business to tend to.
Yeah, he'll be here
he's
shortly.
Be here in about 15 minutes.
No, he should be here even
maybe
sooner.
less.
He called us
even sooner?
at 10:54. He was
I just
on his
seen
way
him pull
in.
up.
Great. Oh, he's in.
Yeah.
So he'll be here momentarily. Hard to slide a 7-foot guy into the set without saying something. So
That's
he'll be
true.
adding to the panel here shortly. And the Gopher is here for Polk. Polk's going to be here later. I understand Polk has a really interesting segment for us today.
Looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's a tease. That's a tease. Longtime Cleveland Browns fans and Christmas fans. Isn't that everybody?
Yeah.
You'll want to see the Mike Polk segment, which is coming up later in today's Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Busy show. We're going to go through the Browns. We have Leroy Horde on, and we're going to do our pre-written headlines. But before we dive into our Browns content, our Browns talk on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is brought to you by...
Let me get to it. There you go, Tri-C, baby.
Yeah.
How about Cuyahoga Community College? That's one of the hardest words to pronounce as a
Cuyahoga.
Ohio.
Cuyahoga. Yeah.
All right. Well, how about this? Browns Talk, sponsored by Cuyahoga Community College. Tri-C
Well
supports
done.
their students financially, professionally, and personally, and opens up doors of endless possibilities. Tri-C is where the future starts, and guess what? It starts right now. Classes begin January 17th, 2023. Tri-C, the school for you and me.
I'm going to do a magic act now, where once there was an empty chair, poof,
Hello. All of a sudden, what's up, Brad?
a 7-footer dropped
All of a sudden,
in.
my IFB is not working. I don't know what happened.
Did it come unplugged in the back from the earpiece? Is
I don't
that
think
possible?
so.
It looks like it's still intact.
It may have come undone when
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was working when we were hearing the music, and then
All
all
right,
of a sudden,
we'll work on it because I
Yeah.
think
Well, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I'm just hearing like some
Hold on.
static now.
Did
Oh,
they-
you're in
did they-
static.
Did they
Yeah.
hit me too? Like I thought. Like
I'm good.
I don't know what happened.
All right.
It like just stopped working.
Say something. Ignatius.
Anthony and Earl are out, so I'm actually going to come from behind here
Yeah.
and help you guys. We don't have any other hands. It's
Yeah, I don't know
literally
what's
just me
going
today.
on. I don't know what happened.
So when
I
you
don't
see
got
me
nothing.
doing this, I'm going to come
Yeah, I
help you
don't
guys.
know.
Give me 1 sec. But
It was
right.
working the whole lead up. Anyway.
IFB Gremlins. Okay,
By
we
the
got
way,
that out of the way.
Jay, before we get into anything else, I need to ask you all a question.
Shoot.
Who is worse? The guy, I'll just say guy, but it could be a woman too, it doesn't matter.
The person.
The person, yeah, that's better. The person who drives slow in the left lane or the person who drives fast in the right lane?
Slow in the left
Slow
lane.
in the left.
We're all saying slow. Brad, you with that too? Slow in the left?
Slow on the left.
Slow in the
It
left?
drives me nuts.
That's more egregious?
Yeah, like there's rules and regulations for that.
If you're going to go below the speed limit,
Yeah.
just get out of the left lane.
Yeah.
That's common
Now,
courtesy.
I would agree with that. I don't like the person that goes fast in the right lane.
I don't like that
If
person
I'm in
either.
the right lane, I'm there for a reason. I
Right,
should
sure.
be able to go slower
No,
there.
I'm totally with
But
you
I'm
on
on 90 today, just before Progressive Field,
that. Yeah.
and I go into the left lane, and there's a guy doing like 55.
Yeah,
And I'm
there's a
like,
creeper.
what are you doing?
Yeah,
and
no.
I'm not one of these people. I'm not going to tailgate you. That's dangerous.
Sure.
I'm not pulling up. But, like, come on. Let's
Yeah.
go.
You can hit the
Keep it
brakes
moving.
once or twice. That's
The
okay.
guy eventually moved, but it was inappropriate.
Can we throw in the people that's in the carpool lane with just one person?
Well,
You must be out of state.
Yeah, that doesn't happen
don't really
here
have it.
much, but
unless you're on 80, right? Is it
DC
happen on 80?
happens.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about that rule. I lived
Yeah.
in Charlotte after school. I knew nothing about it, and randomly, people was giving me this like evil look.
yeah, they must have an HOV lane,
And-
or
yeah.
a multiple occupancy
Yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah.
MOV.
I had to deal with that a lot. If you drive through Staten Island, going from like New Jersey to
Yes,
Brooklyn.
and they'll ticket you.
Yes,
They will ticket you.
Yes.
Now, when I go up there to see Cheyenne, you in Maryland,
Yeah.
they got the HOV lane.
Yeah.
You don't mess around there.
Until you get to after 3 o'clock or whatever time.
Yeah,
they
there's
have to
hours that you
Right.
can do. Usually in morning rush and
Yeah.
evening rush. If you're solo,
Right.
you got to stay out of that lane. I think the logo is like a diamond.
Yeah.
And it was funny. My parents lived in Arizona after my father retired, and the traffic in Phoenix is absolutely bonkers. It's just it's nuts.
It's gotten worse now because it's the
Yeah.
population.
Far worse. Yeah,
growth.
far worse.
Yeah.
But the 101, the 201, they are 202. They have HOV lanes, high occupancy
Yeah.
vehicle lanes, and people to save time in the morning because it takes about an hour and 15 to go anywhere in Phoenix in the morning. They were putting mannequins in the passenger seat, hats on them and sunglasses on them, and cops were giving them a ticket for that too.
Man, I didn't know what it was because I was
Yeah.
from here,
Right.
and I'm like,
Yeah, we don't have that here.
why is
Here.
everybody this lane?
Yeah, we don't
over
have it
here is
anywhere here.
available?
Not even on 80.
I don't think we have it in
I'm gonna give you
Ohio.
another one.
The
You be-
Turnpike doesn't have it.
You be careful when you go into Maryland, Tricky. You got to be careful, right? So they'll have on the car, on the highway, it looked like a car is broken. A white SUV is broken down on the side of the highway, hood up. You know, if you're coming from the backside,
yeah.
you're like,
It's cop.
car is broken down.
Yeah.
Well, you get to the front of the car, they got the speed camera on you.
Yeah.
Oh, with the gun.
Oh yeah, gunning you, and you'll know it when you get the ticket in the mail.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Is that lawful?
What is this?
That's crazy.
Is that
But the
lawful?
ticket in the mail is better than getting pulled over because at least you don't get points on your license.
That's exactly right.
You know,
I
No,
feel
the
like
speed traps are the biggest load of horse crap in the history of America.
I still
Yeah.
can't hear Mike when he's talking. Like when you talk to us.
G, can you hear me?
no.
No,
Brad.
I'm still getting the static.
I can.
Jay.
Yeah, got you fine.
So weird.
That's crazy.
I don't know
Must
what's
have
going
something
on.
happened to two.
That's why I say in
Jay's
Cleveland,
on one.
This might be an
People-
issue when we have Leroy on. Just
people
throwing it
here
out
in
there.
Cleveland
we'll be.
have no idea how nice it is here not to
Without
be
traffic.
stuck in
No,
traffic.
you're and Bull talked about that last
It
week.
is if you've lived anywhere else as you have, as I
Yeah.
have, as you have,
It's a nightmare.
It is, you know.
And traffic here, I laugh when people
Yeah,
talk,
like
complain
you-
about traffic. I'm
you
like,
complaining?
this is not traffic.
yeah,
okay?
they say like
This is
"Oh,
slow down."
I sat in traffic. I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I know. It's nice that you thought you sat in traffic, but I'll tell you traffic. Well, I grew up in Sandusky, and I used to think the Cedar Point traffic was miserable.
yeah.
We all complained about, the traffic. And then I moved away, and I'm
Right.
like, that's funny that I thought that was traffic.
That's like the Geauga Lake traffic in
Yeah,
Aurora.
You know what it teaches
Gridlock.
you? You can't ride dirty. You say, what does that mean, G. Bush? You can't be riding with under a quarter tank of gas.
Oh no.
No, because you never know.
I would find out the hard. I said, I'm good. I got like that little quarter tank. I'll get me some gas over
what it
here.
is.
Man, I was in that traffic for dang near an hour. And this is before your car start and stop.
Yeah, and so the gas gauge is going down and down and down.
And I'm looking around like, how the heck, if I run out of traffic, they're going to be mad as hell behind me if I run out of gas.
Yeah, that's going to be real nice for
You
you.
got to have all the gas. You can't be playing around.
How many people here? Because you take things for granted here in Cleveland, right? How many times you been caught in a car with 7 miles to empty?
Oh,
yeah,
many
sure.
times.
7 miles.
I don't
And you're
typically
like,
look at my
where's the
gas gauge.
station?
I'll be looking by that.
Putting it on the GPS, where's the closest gas station?
One time when I was like, I must have been like 19, 20, I was pushing it. I had to push my car. My friend and I
I
had
ran
to
out
push my
once.
car like a couple of blocks.
Yeah.
We ran
I ran out of gas once.
Shoot, what you mean? I'm a young dude. Back when you try and get in the game, what you know about McNuggets, you got to know about this. They was paying you in McDonald's and cookies and
What,
and-
HOV? I've missed what this whole
Oh, I hear Mike
conversation-
now.
Yeah, we
There
got
we
you.
go.
Hold on,
There
we're
you
about
go.
to do a mic check.
Whatever
IFB
you
check.
did, you fixed it.
I did, and this mic check is IFB check. By the way, we pull the curtains back on UCSS.
Yes.
It's brought to us by Cleveland Whiskey.
Yeah.
IFB check. It's brought to us by
Nice.
Cleveland Whiskey. Cleveland Whiskey's Christmas bourbon is available now. Visit your local liquor store to take some home today. Whiskey without limits. Please drink responsibly. Steve, when you can we get to a wide shot just to confirm this is working? All right, guys, I'm about to go on IFB. Raise your hand if you can actually hear me. You're all on channel 1.
We're all good.
No, I'm going to go on the IFB system
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Jay's usually on channel 1. Everyone else is usually on channel 2. You guys are all on channel 1 now. So when I'm talking to one of y'all, you guys are all here. Raise your hand if you hear this.
There you
That's
go.
how you problem solve issues on the air.
There
by
it is,
yourself.
Mikey.
Producer, audio tech.
Fix
Let's
it.
do it.
Assistant producer. We got no Anthony today, no Earl today.
Cooking. What I was gonna tell you, Mike, is when you young, you trying to get in this game. Hey, you got to make business decisions sometimes. You like, listen, I got about a 20.
Yeah.
It's these. I could put 15 in and go get me 2 McDoubles.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't want no drink. I'm gonna just get the water and a value fry.
Oh, I've been there.
Stretching that butt.
That 20.
Stop that. Who's been at the gas station? This is a Cleveland thing. This is a real Cleveland thing. Go to the gas station and somebody walk in and say, "Give me $3."
Oh, I've heard it. I've heard it. I've seen
What?
people pay.
Change.
I've
Where
seen
you
people
going?
paying
Around the
change.
Change.
Yep, with a little jar.
Like,
and they're
hold
taking
on.
quarters and dimes and nickels, and I'm like, man,
Man,
I feel
change.
so.
I'm like,
What
oh.
you mean? And if it's I don't feel ashamed if it's silver. If it's silver, I'm good. Like
Copper, you're not playing.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't.
Yeah,
the copper
no.
pennies got all
Pennies
kind
should
of
be
lint on
banned,
them.
by the way.
I
You should
agree.
ban pennies.
Do you know, and this has been the case for many years, We lose money printing pennies.
Why do we print
The
pennies?
value of one, it costs more
More
than
to print
1
than-
penny in copper
Yeah.
to print a penny.
We should give everybody in America like 6 months to cash in all their pennies.
Yeah.
And then pennies. In fact, if we're up to me, there'd be nothing below a quarter
You
anymore.
can't buy anything for a penny anymore.
This
Yeah,
is
no,
an
nothing.
This
Penny-
is
penny
UC.
candy.
This should be
Gone.
UCSS investigative journalism. We should be going on the street and we should ask. We feel currency is outdated and no one has it.
Yeah.
Do you have in your wallet $20?
I do.
And see how many people
But
have a 20.
I don't. Sometimes I don't.
That's
Plenty
like
of
my
times I don't.
emergency $20.
Yeah.
But I
almost
never
never use cash.
Never.
Never.
When I worked at the radio station, I kept cash because the store downstairs,
Yeah.
I would pay them in cash.
Yeah.
But now I don't go there. I almost never use cash.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I go to a restaurant, I like to give the waiter or waitress a tip in cash.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This way I don't have to get taxed on it.
All right, we're going to dive into our Browns talk.
Get to it.
It's official. I think it's official. Huntley's going to start, unless they're playing games.
Beneficial.
The Huntley's going to start a quarterback for the Ravens tomorrow.
Which is weird, by the way.
Why?
How do you get cleared from the concussion
Yeah,
protocol
I thought that too.
this quick?
Yeah, I thought because it's almost always the game that you're pulled from and at
Yeah.
least one more.
Especially because
Almost
it's a
always.
short week.
I know.
I know it's
was,
one day, but
I was
it's a short
surprised that he was cleared.
But yeah,
you
he
take-
practiced in full yesterday.
You take him at their word.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw 3 facts at you guys and ask you a question to follow. They're down to their backup quarterback, no Lamar Jackson, and he's
Yeah.
the reason you would fear the Ravens offense. So they've got Huntley at quarterback. It's a home game, and it is the 3rd start for Deshaun Watson. Is there any excuse at all why the Browns should lose this game tomorrow?
No.
No.
Bull?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is. You're only a 3-point favorite. The excuse is the Browns aren't that good right now.
Yeah.
I expect
they're
them to
just
win.
not a better team than Baltimore.
I mean, no.
The
they're
record says they're drastically not as good.
certainly, Vegas is telling you that they're even on a neutral field
Right.
with Tyler Huntley. If Lamar were playing, the Ravens would be favored in this game.
Easily.
Probably by 3 points.
Yeah.
So instead, the Browns are favored by 3 points because it's Huntley. But I'm expecting the Browns to win. But in a 3-point game, guys, I can't say there's no excuse for them to lose.
Here, go ahead.
This is what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Here, I'm expecting the Browns to play competitive football tomorrow. I'm also expecting this. I'm expecting Watson to be better, right? This is where I am. I'm out of this year. I'm gone. This
Yeah.
is done. I'm looking for things for next year. What can I salvage here? And the salvage is here, the prep work. You have to get him back to a level. You paid him $230 million.
Right.
I was like, so he's got to play like a $230 million person, but there's steps and layers here. So I don't hear nothing about nobody else coming in the game. Nope. You taking
No,
all the
there's no-
snaps. You getting all this work because I'm playing for next August when we start here. When we come to camp in July here, you're going to be rolling. Here, you're not going home for the summer. Don't think you're going home.
Well,
Because
there
that's
are
how it used to be,
CBA
G. The pros used to hold you hostage.
Hey,
I couldn't
there are
leave
CBA
Chicago.
But
They
there are
like-
CBA rules that they have to
Hey,
adhere
The
to.
problem here,
I like that.
this should be in Watson, right?
Sure, you're
this
paying.
This should be in Watson.
Right.
Right, because it used to be they would hold you. So then they came with this new CBA. They can't hold you.
I think home is here now. He bought that massive
No,
mansion.
but you know, you got houses everywhere. $230 million, you have houses everywhere, right?
true.
So the
You want
thing-
him here.
He has to do the work.
I'm with you
Put
on
in the
that.
work, right?
Yeah.
And I know he will
That's
because
not unrealistic, is it, guys?
What, to expect him to live here in the offseason?
And be at the facility every day.
I mean, yes,
If you're
he's
making,
got a lot.
if you're making that kind of money, report to work every day.
I mean, listen, I'm fine. You go on vacation a couple of
Yeah, you
weeks.
can
That's
still go on
fine.
vacation.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
but I don't
mean,
want to see him disappear for 4 months.
No, and he needs to be here for every day of OTAs and every,
Absolutely.
like we always talk every year, like when the superstars and they come in OTAs. And
Right.
He needs to get every bit of coaching and practice he can possibly get. I don't think there's any
But
doubt about
this
it.
guy, if he don't, if he's not top 5, they in trouble. They in real trouble if he's not. He playing like a top 5 quarterback next year. Because to me, they got a lot of holes, man. They got extremely and I don't think people gonna see it until we get to them OTAs, and then you start being like, oh, so and so ain't playing.
Oh, we see it now.
So and so ain't getting no contract. We can't really bring this dude back. And as constituted with this offense, and I'm looking at the defensive tackle room. Man, they got to get me some receivers, man. They got to get me it takes them entirely too long to get going. I watched Coach Prime the other day. He said we need some dogs.
Yeah.
We need some dogs. Yeah. You know, we need some dudes to come in here and say, listen, you was playing last year, David Bell. You're not playing this year,
Right?
Because that's the mentality you need.
That's how you keep people honest.
I mean,
We've been saying that all year.
like-
They got 3 good pass catchers.
No.
I need one more, but
But we want them. I need somebody coming in saying
Our receiver core is so woefully behind the
Pedestrian.
Bengals. Now, they're the standard in my mind. I think the Bengals have one of the best receiving cores in football. I just feel like, to your point, G, and there's a lot of areas. I mean, look at the linebacker core. Look at the middle of the defensive line. You can't address all of them
I think
at
those
once.
are much bigger issues than
I
wide
do too.
receiver.
I think they're bigger issues, but I also think that you're the one that says it. This is a passing league. You went out and you got an all-pro quarterback. Why'd you get an all-pro quarterback who doesn't have targets to throw to?
C++
Burrow is
targets.
Burrow because he has 3 targets.
They're not C+.
oh,
They're better than that.
Well,
I'm not sure they
it's
are.
The Bengals are the extreme. They're one of the top 1 or 2 wide receiving cores in the league.
But here's the
But
thing.
there's a huge gap
the
between them and us.
The Browns are just as good, if not better, than the Steelers, and they're better than the Ravens at wide receivers. So
Well, this is what I say. I say this, right? And I kind of agree with Bull. I can't really say what I have until he starts slinging that ball like he's supposed
Right.
to.
No, that's true.
Right.
I mean,
So-
And hopefully we'll find that out the next 4
but
games.
here,
DPJ's going to have 1,000 yards probably this year.
I'm
I mean, that's pretty
gonna
good.
get back to this. I will say this though, Bull. I'll say
Yeah.
this. We need a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
And the top dog in the building is the highest paid player. You're the top dog in the building. But if you set the tone that you come in here every day to work, the rest of them are going to come in here to work because you're going to be forced to follow the lead, right?
No
So
doubt.
I don't want to know nothing about the Bahamas. I went down here to Atlantis. I want nothing about that. You can go, but I need you to show up at work because that's going to drive the others here. And then, no,
the
you
example
cannot
in the
be
room.
satisfied with this season. You cannot be like, okay, what if? Like,
Did
no.
you hear the Myles Garrett comment yesterday about making the playoffs?
What did he say?
It was kind of interesting.
What
He
he said?
asked about making the playoffs, and I think the question insinuated that, well, that ship has sailed. And he actually went there. He actually said, no, our chances aren't gone. We have a better chance. This was the bad analogy. We have a better chance of making the playoffs than the Jets had coming back from 2 touchdowns down with 2 minutes to go to win. I just
Is
thought
that true? I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure.
it is true. Yeah.
The Browns
Because we have
only
a
had a-
0.4
It was
chance,
0.1
and it was a 0, and it was a 99.9% chance the Browns were going to win.
Yeah, that's
That was
not the best example. but
No, I wish he
But
hadn't
that-
gone there.
that was the
because
first-
that was the turning point of the season for me.
that was the first time that happened in, 20 years?
the last time to do it. Tim Couch and the Browns.
Right, so-
the Bears did it.
So
Came back. from that.
does he really believe that?
I mean, good for him. He still I like that he has the attitude that they could still make it. He should.
No, I like the attitude where,
Yeah.
like, I got some holes here. He has some juice here. We all got to get on the same page here. That's what we have to be.
A team should always play until they're officially eliminated. You should always have the mindset that you still got a chance.
I wish
no
there
matter
were,
how
I wish there were
unrealistic
more
it is.
urgency all
Of
season
course.
long.
Of course.
After McNuggets comments, they have no. I'll tell you why they have no chance.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, we know
Real
they
quick,
have no chance.
while we're talking about Myles Garrett, we did get a super chat that was directly about Myles Garrett. So I want to just ask this while we're talking about it. It's from Wood Dog MTG. He says, "Merry Christmas, guys. Are you worried that Myles is going to ask for a trade this offseason? And should the Browns try to trade Denzel Ward this offseason?" So 2-part question, but are you worried that Myles might
I
ask for
would
a
cut
trade?
bait with Ward if they could. I don't think he's tradable.
You
His
can't
contract's
trade
too
Ward.
big.
Not movable.
His contract is
I'm not
too big.
trading Ward because his value is down. Even if you could trade him, you wouldn't get good value
Yeah,
for him.
that's why he's just not tradable.
I'm going to assume he's going to bounce back next year because his first few years in the league, he was very good.
If the Browns are terrible the last 4 games, Myles Garrett could ask for a trade.
I'm afraid Nick Chubb too. I mean, if you're these guys, you're looking at the hourglass, and there may be, for both of these guys, and this is scary to think,
Shrinking.
there may be as much sand in the top now as there is in the bottom. If you look at longevity and how long these players at that position play.
Yeah.
For both of them, there may be more sand in the bottom of the glass than there is in the top.
There's always
and
a
if
po-
I'm either one of those guys, I'm well aware of what happened to Joe Thomas here. The last thing you want to do is retire at your position as one of the best to ever play it. And I think both Myles and Chubb are on that trajectory,
Sure.
And then
as Joe Thomas was. The last thing you want to do, if you're Garrett or if you're Chubb, is to play your whole career in relative anonymity.
Yeah.
And have
But-
one playoff game to your, to your resume.
Joe Thomas never got to play with Deshaun Watson. If next, listen, who knows? Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett, but especially Nick Chubb, doesn't seem like the type of guy that would ask for a trade.
No.
You never know. Obviously, I don't know him personally. This was my impression from what I know of him. But any player on a team that has a bad season, you could make an argument would want to be traded.
Especially now, players have forced their way out of situations.
They have at times. But
Much
Kareem Hunt
more
wanted to be
now.
traded, and the Browns didn't trade him.
Well, he had no leverage.
He don't have to
Right.
He
was
had no
starting
leverage
back.
whatsoever.
After what I heard yesterday, nothing would be off the table for me, because
The guys that can do it are the guys that already have generational money.
we sit here and talk.
They're not
about,
going to miss a year.
all the time. We talk about guys are there for a reason, or guys are going to get better, or guys are going to do this, and I'm not about to sit here in the prime of my career and wait for you to figure it out. The reality of it is, when they said them comments yesterday, it showed
Talk about the defensive backs coach.
the
you're talking
difference
about.
when a defensive backs coach, and that thing blew up on
Passing
Twitter.
game
over-
coordinator. The
when-
defensive passing
If
game
that
coordinator.
is your passing game coordinator, and he says something dumb like that, and he had and
For those that weren't watching yesterday, repeat the comment.
his
Paraphrase it. Or Bull, if you want, read the quote.
I'll get it.
He
Do
got
you
it.
have it? Here we go. Do you have the other one, Mike? The one with the exact quote?
Yeah, because this was a little bit.
Give me a sec.
Because I think I have it.
Essentially, the Browns passing game coordinator, Jeff Howard, said they just weren't prepared for Higgins and Boyd to go out of the
Here's
game
the
with
exact
injury.
quote, guys. We were planning for all three of them.
Brad didn't see that yesterday.
Yeah, I know, Brad. Buckle up, Brad.
He said we were planning for all three of them. He was talking about Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins.
Get my face.
And
Come
then
on over my
and
face.
then after one series, two of them tap out and the game changes. So it stresses your adaptability and you really got to feel the game out. We could probably be more aware of when they are in a situation like that. See, that's just crazy.
That's some BS right there.
that you
Brad.
lose two good players and you're making it seem like things got harder because a team lost two of their best players.
Imagine someone playing the Bulls and Jordan goes out saying, we just
Sure,
weren't
wait,
ready
no,
to see
no,
the Bulls
not
without
just
Jordan.
Pippen.
No, it's like Pippen and Horace Grant both went
yes.
out.
Pippen and
Well, that's
Horace Grant.
40% of the team. though.
They're proving my point, right?
Yeah.
These are dudes that have no feel for the game, right?
None.
No feel for the game, right? Because, I got it. We came into the thing with a game plan. We laid it down. This is what we're going to do. We worked on it all week. Well, it changes on the fly. Well, guess what? When it changes on the fly, you have to adapt
And
on the
it
fly.
changed to your
To
benefit.
your benefit. Oh, I don't
And
have
they
to
weren't
check.
ready
I don't
for
have
that.
to check those two. And this dude is the only one hurting me. Oh, you're not even catching the ball today.
We're doubling you the rest of
would've
the game,
hold
which,
it,
by the
hold
way,
it.
they never really
My
did.
two guys would have been on him like here at the line, like, you ain't getting nothing today. Nothing. I'd have been Richard Sherman on him. You know you're sorry.
As a
You
player,
sorry.
Brown should have tripled.
As a player, Brad, when you hear that, as a player, and a coach says something that dumb, as a player, what goes through your mind when you hear that stuff?
Well, you're an idiot, right? Because here, that's just like to Jay's analogy.
lose confidence.
Yeah, look, here's your analogy, Jay. So we scheme for Jordan, right? Jordan out. We only got to worry about Brad Sellers and Jordan. Oh, I got a nice night tonight. I don't have to work like that. It's like, this is not going down. I said, but if your defensive coaches are talking like that, that's the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's a defeatist mentality.
What's the head dude saying?
He co-signed it. And as a matter of fact, he let him come double down. Did he look over that play? Did he look over that game plan? Did he? And if you're the head coach and you're on the sidelines and you see T. Higgins and Boyd, and their starting tight end not playing, would you walk over and simply say,
Okay, you touched on a great point that I wanted to make yesterday, and I didn't. It hit me yesterday later, and I was upset. We tend to hold Kevin Stefanski accountable for the offense because that's his background, and he's calling the plays.
He's the CEO.
What we've done here in Cleveland is take him off the hook to a certain degree to the debacle that's been the Browns' defense this year. He oversees that too.
Complete.
That's under his purview too. So we're all throwing darts at Woods, and rightfully so. But as the head coach, if you're watching a dumpster fire, you have to grab a fire extinguisher and try to do something about it. And the fact that they couldn't adjust to their number 2 and number 3 receivers being out of the game, and you never saw them say, okay, we're going to double chase and we're going to make these other guys beat us, They never did that. A high school coach
Yeah,
does
well,
that.
they doubled him some, but
Not much.
Not consistently.
Not enough.
And honestly,
Well, he wouldn't
in
get off
that
the line.
situation, I would have triple teamed Chase.
I
I know that
would've
sounds
too.
crazy.
He would have never got off the line.
I would have said he's not going to catch a ball, but if these other guys beat us, they beat us.
I would have put 2 guys on the line right there and had a safety
Like
behind
his
them.
punt return.
Yeah.
Like
They'd have
crazy.
been
like
I know
he's
it's
a gunner
crazy.
on punt
In a
return.
way, that's crazy, but like,
No, it ain't.
you got to force those other receivers to beat you the
What
rest
were
of the
his
game.
numbers? He had, 9 catches, 10 catches?
Jamar
100
Chase had 15 targets for 10 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown.
How was that adjustment not made, and how is that not more Kevin Stefanski's fault?
How didn't he even see it?
Hey, listen,
He
Kevin
didn't even see it.
Stefanski.
He
Kevin
didn't notice it.
Stefanski's got to get some of the blame, no doubt about it. But yeah, I mean, there's no excuse. I got no excuse for it.
I just think in the media, in our discussion of what's going on this year,
Yeah.
we tend to isolate Kevin with the offense and
Yeah.
give him a pass.
Maybe.
we're
On the other
saying
hand, we seem to give him blame for every time a player screws up
he's
too.
a head coach.
No, but the player's got to get some blame. Like in a
Yes.
situation where it's like the defensive design,
But Bull,
that's on the coaches.
that's
I agree.
clearly a
I
defensive-
agree. But when a player runs into the kicker, like I can't blame the coach for that.
I'm with you. That's
And
a
that-
player
and-
mistake.
and
Yeah.
But as far as this issue goes, and we've seen this, this has been habitual this year. We watched Atlanta with backup running backs gash us for over 10 yards a carry for the second half.
By the way, those
And they
backup
never-
running backs have really done nothing
Of
since that
course,
game.
they weren't world beaters. We
Yeah.
made them look like world beaters.
Yeah.
We never made the in-game adjustment,
Nope.
and
No.
it cost us the game. San Diego, same thing. We game planned all week for them to have Justin Herbert come in here and throw the ball all over the yard.
No.
And you know what? We were really caught off guard when Herbert wasn't throwing the ball. They never made that in-game adjustment. I'm telling you, this is troubling. This is troubling because all the fans see it. Everybody in the stands see it. High school coaches
They
can
see
see
it.
it and say, guys, this isn't working. We have to make an adjustment.
Right.
I haven't seen adjustments from Kevin Stefanski.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem for people like Stefanski, right? You're in the heartbeat of football country.
Oh, yeah.
This is Ohio.
Yeah, you're not fooling anybody.
You ain't fooling nobody here. They all know. They've known it from the time of Pee Wee League and high school football and college football. You're not gonna fool us here. We know what needs to be done, or we have an idea what needs to be done. And when you don't do certain things, your comment about the player, right? Some of it is on the player, right? That's when a coach usually calls out the player in the paper, right? To signify that you're not getting it done.
Right. We got to be better.
Right. You have to be better, right? You're letting us down, right? It's not behind the doors. It is initially, but when you continue to do it, oh, it's this dude right here.
And if they
And
can't take
if
it,
you can't do it,
if they
you
can't
out.
take it and they ain't tough skin, they don't need to be here then. If you can't get called out in the newspaper and you go in a shell, that's just like when people say, the quarterback, you know what, he's lost his confidence and we need to protect his psyche.
Yeah.
If your psyche is that bad, you can't play game of football.
By the
You
way,
just
guys,
can't.
getting to this game specifically, just one thing I wanted to mention. For those who want a ton of running plays, I don't think the Browns are going to run much this week. The Ravens have the best run defense in the league. Their pass defense is not good. And it's not as bad as it could be because they haven't. When's the last time the Ravens faced a good quarterback? It's been a while.
Yeah.
If you look at the teams they've played for the last month. But if you look at their statistically, best against the run, one of the worst teams against the pass. And I think we all want to see Deshaun Watson kind
I
of
wanna
air
see
it
him
out.
sling it.
He hasn't really thrown the ball downfield that much. I think we're going to see a lot of that this
We have
week.
Leroy ready to come on in a second. Before we do that, quick around the horn, 1 to 10 on the fear meter. How much do you fear this Ravens offense with Huntley at quarterback?
4, 5.
4.
7.
I'm a 4.
Yeah.
I'm a 4. There's no reason they should be able to move the ball at will and score.
The Browns have to have 8, 9 guys in the box
I agree
because
with that.
they shouldn't be able to throw the ball
All
at
right,
all.
Nuggets.